Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take the sources and stories you send us, things that have caught your eye, and really dig into them. Today, we're diving into something pretty unsettling you shared: the eternal flame of Willow Creek. Our mission. Well, it's not just retelling the story. We want to unpack how this narrative uses fear, those deep seated anxieties, to create this powerful sense of dread, and maybe what that says about us, about our fascination with the unknown. We're following Eliza Thorne, a librarian. Quiet life, quiet town, Willow Creek. Then she buys something from an antique shop. Seems innocent, right? But it's classic uncanny territory. The familiar gets twisted. We'll explore how the story builds that from skepticism to sheer terror. Ask yourself, what would you make of it? So let's start there. The antique shop. Liza finds this candle. Ornate, deep crimson wax, strange little runes etched on it. Sounds cool, actually. But the shopkeeper described as having eyes like polished obsidian. That's a bit much, maybe. He says casually, "This one burns eternal." Okay, let's unpack that. Is it just a quirky sales line or something more deliberate planted right at the start?
Oh, it's absolutely deliberate. That line, "burns eternal," it immediately introduces this hint of the impossible, right? It sets up this core conflict with natural laws. Eliza understandably dismisses it. Eccentric old shopkeeper, maybe. But it plants that seed. It taps into that fundamental unease we feel when something defies the rules we rely on. Mundane objects often become these vessels for bigger, darker ideas in folklore.
Right. And it doesn't stay subtle for long. That first night, Eliza lights it. Normal enough. Midnight comes. She blows it out. And the flame just poks back, flickers back to life. She tries again harder. It gets brighter. She even tries smothering it with her fingers out, but it just relights on its own. That's a direct violation of candleness, isn't it?
Exactly. It's not gradual. It's an immediate physical impossibility. No room for doubt, really.
And it's not just the candle. The room starts to feel wrong. Shadows moving weirdly, like ink bleeding into water, the story says, creeping closer. Faint murmurs. Eliza tries to rationalize tiredness, maybe, but she feels this deep chill. It's that creeping dread building up, isn't it? The psychological unease before the jump scares.
The pacing is key here. That instant relighting is a jolt.
Yeah.
It ricks away her ability to just explain it away. It forces her right into the uncanny. Some analyses of Gothic horror talk about this, that immediate defiance of the known creates this cognitive dissonance. What should happen versus what is happening. And the moving shadows, the sounds, they're attacking her sense of reality itself.
Yeah, and the story keeps messing with her. Daylight comes, the candle looks totally normal, no melted wax, no soot, nothing. She even tells her friend Sarah, and Sarah's like, oh, it's probably one of those print candles, with magnesium, a rational explanation. But Eliza, she can't bring herself to toss it. Is that attachment or just fear?
It's a critical moment. That attempt to rationalize the prank candle theory is such a human thing to do. Find the mundane explanation. But it clashes directly with what Eliza experienced and her inability to get rid of it. That suggests something deeper is taking hold. A connection. A binding, maybe. So the second night, she decides to record it with her phone. It's interesting. Trying to use technology to capture the irrational, to get proof.
And boy, does she get proof. The video shows it. Candle relighting itself. Plain as day, or, well, plain as night vision. And now the shadows are worse. Not just moving, but slithering. Forming vague shapes. Humanoid. Elongated. Ugh, one brushes her foot, an icy breath. That's not just seeing things anymore.
No, that's tactile. That's physical contact. The shift from vague unease to undeniable physical manifestation is complete.
She panics, tries water, tries smothering it with a pillow. Nothing works. She literally flees to the couch.
And that failure is crucial. What happens when logic fails? An action fails. When you throw water on a flame and it doesn't go out, it underscores the candle's power. It operates outside physics as we know it. And that detail about the lingering shadow on her skin, like a bruise.
Oh, yeah, the bruise that isn't there. Chill it.
It marks her physically. A permanent reminder. No more denial possible.
That mark is the point of no return, really. So she switches gears. Fear turns into determination. Back to her safe space, the library. Time for research. She needs answers beyond her own terrifying experience, and she finds them in the town's history. Turns out Willow Creek has a dark past, an 1800s cult called the Eternal Flame Society. Seriously, their whole deal. Harnessing shadows, binding them to objects like candles, sometimes to ward off darkness, sometimes to summon it. She finds a specific book, Shadows of the Past, by an Eliza Blackwood, a historian who vanished back in the 1920s, which doesn't exactly inspire confidence.
No, it certainly adds another layer of dread. But her turning to research is classic. The protagonist becoming the investigator. Finding the cult lore gives context. It explains why this might be happening. It's not random. And that detail about Blackwood vanishing, it validates the danger. He dug too deep, perhaps.
Blackwood's book gets specific about this kind of candle, says it was forged during a lunar eclipse, infused with the essence of a tragic soul. Its purpose, to bind the living to the void.
Wow. So incredibly specific and malevolent.
Right. And the mechanism is just awful. Each night, the shadows feed on fear, growing stronger until they consume the bearer.
Ah, so the fear itself fuels it. That's insidious. It makes the victim complicit in their own destruction in a way. A feedback loop of terror.
Exactly. But the book also offers a sliver of hope, a potential way out. To break the curse, one must trace its origin to the flame's birth and extinguish it with the light of truth.
The light of truth. That's potent symbolism. It sets up this journey of discovery she has to take.
And then the confirmation. The runes on her candle. They match the book's illustration for eternal binding. No doubt left. It's that candle.
That connection makes it intensely personal. It's not just a cursed candle. It's the cursed candle described in this lost book, and it's in her house.
So armed with all this terrible knowledge, she goes back to the antique shop, confronts the shopkeeper, and he's just calm, knows exactly what she's talking about. He reveals the candle belonged to an Amelia Voss back in 1897, a widow, consumed by grief. The cult apparently gave it to her for protection, but surprise, surprise, it devoured her soul.
So he knew. He knew the history, the danger. He wasn't just some oblivious seller.
Not at all. And then he drops the final bomb. Some flames choose their keepers, and yours, it chose you.
Oh, that's chilling. That shifts everything.
Right. Suddenly, she's not just an unlucky customer. She's been selected. It adds this layer of predestination almost. Existential dread, indeed.
And the shopkeeper becomes this gatekeeper figure, almost complicit in the cycle. It suggests the candle itself has agency, a will. It targets vulnerability, Amelia's grief, maybe something in Eliza.
It's a terrifying thought, being chosen by something like that. But it seems to galvanize Eliza. That night, she decides not to light it. Take back control. Right.
A logical step. Refuse to participate.
But the candle doesn't care. Midnight strikes and it just roars to life all on its own.
Autonomously. The bindings complete that. Her choice is irrelevant now.
Exactly. And the shadows, they erupt, no more creeping. They are lunging, clawed tendrils wrapping around her ankles, trying to pull her. The whispers are clearer now. Join us, eternal darkness.
That's the final assault. The shift from psychological dread to full-on physical attack. The invitation to surrender is now explicit. Her agency is completely stripped away, forcing the confrontation.
It's desperate measures time. She remembers Blackwood's book, The Light of Truth. She grabs the book, reads the preschool page aloud. By the light of truth, I seek your origin.
A powerful act, not just words, but an intentional seeking of understanding under duress.
And it works. Visions flood her mind. She sees Amelia Voss, grief-stricken after her husband died, lighting the candle for the first time. She sees the cult members chanting, binding Amelia's sorrow into the wax.
Ah, the origin story. Seeing it directly. That creates an empathetic link, doesn't it? It's not just history, it's witnessing the creation of the curse.
And she sees the betrayal. Amelia realized the cult weren't protectors, they were parasites.
Oh.
Feeding on despair to prolong their own unnatural lives.
That's the aha moment, the core truth. It reframes everything. The protection was a lie, a lure. The candle's a feeding mechanism for these shadow entities.
Amelia tried to destroy it, but couldn't. The shadows consumed her right before the next eclipse. And the candle just kept going, owner after owner, until Eliza.
So Amelia's failure sets the stage for Eliza's potential success. Understanding the true nature of the cult parasites feeding on sorrow is the key. It's the truth needed.
Knowing this changes everything for Eliza. She gets it. She has to reject the binding, not just understand it. She starts chanting the runes from the book, but backward, like she's trying to unwind time itself. And she shouts, "I reject the binding. I am not your vessel."
A symbolic unwinding, a declaration of agency against the core intention of the curse. Powerful.
And then Amelia's ghost appears. She confirms it. The candle was her prison. The cultists are just shadows of men long dead, clinging to life through fear.
Validation and guidance from the past victim. Wow.
Amelia tells her, "Destroy the candle with your own light truth, unbound by sorrow."
Truth unbound by sorrow.
There it is again.
The key isn't just knowing the truth, but embodying a truth free from the despair the shadows feed on.
Eliza grabs a mirror, angles it so the candle's flame reflects right back onto itself, and she yells, "Truth reflects eternal."
Using reflection, literally and metaphorically. Turning the power back on its source. Brilliant.
The flame writhes, the shadows scream, get sucked into the mirror. Amelia seems to dissolve into light, finding peace. And the candle, it finally cracks, melts down fast like normal wax. And then it's out. Permanently.
A fantastic climax. It's not about force, but about confrontation through understanding and rejection. Using the concept of truth and reflection to nullify the eternal binding. Amelia's peace mirrors Eliza's liberation.
Dawn comes. Sunlight fills the room. No shadows, no whispers, just quiet. The candle's gone, just a puddle of wax. Eliza's exhausted, probably traumatized, but she survived. She calls Sarah. She broke the cycle. But there's one last little detail the story leaves us with. A faint rune, like the ones on the candle, is now etched into Eliza's palm, a reminder. A warning. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Are these things ever truly gone?
That's the lingering question, isn't it? And the source material leans into that ambiguity with its final thought. In Willow Creek, some flames never truly die. They wait for the next keeper. It pushes us, the listeners, you, to think beyond Eliza's story. What flames might be lingering in our own lives? Old fears, maybe. Unresolved grief. Societal pressures. Things that feed on negative emotions, waiting for a keeper. How do we find our own truth unbound by sorrow to face them? That's a powerful reminder, really. Beware the gifts, internal or external, that seem to burn just a little too bright.